All right, awesome. We are live, good to go. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're watching the video. Thanks so much for joining us. My name is Logan, and I am joined by Kat Barefield, who is the Vice President of Nutrition Services with our partners over at dotFIT. So hello to Kat. You got to say something for them to see your
Oh,
face.
hi everyone from Southern California.
Perfect. Awesome. All right. So my whole goal with just giving you guys this little video chat today is to kind of normalize the experience that we're all going through right now, address some of the challenges that we're maybe having around nutrition and lifestyle and habit, and just sort of figuring out how to navigate this stuff. I'm going to send it back to Kat. If you don't mind, would love it if you could introduce yourself properly, tell us a little bit about dotFIT, because we love having you as a partner, but I don't know that everybody knows about it. So what can you tell us?
Okay, so as Logan said, I'm the Vice President of Nutrition Services for dotFIT. I've been a personal trainer for over 20 years. And I became a registered dietitian because I'm very extremely interested in nutrition and how to help you guys reach your goals, whether it be for body composition, your health, etc. So what I spent most of my career doing is building education and platforms for trainers, fitness professionals, to help you guys reach your goals. And so one of those things is the dotFIT program, where you can go in and you can put in your information, ideally with a trainer or a coach, and get a personalized nutrition plan, including access to menus, as well as workout tools that you can build workouts on your own even with no equipment, as well as a supplement recommendation to support your goals. So that is what we are in a nutshell. And then we've got other fun things that we do, like recipes and articles and things like videos, webinars, etc. But really, our mission is to help save the world in fitness. I know it sounds grandiose, but that's what we're all trying to do, is trying to help everybody who wants help get to an optimal place in regards to their immune system, their fitness, and their body composition. I know it's long-winded, but that's what we do.
That's perfect. Thank you so much. So so as we introduce this tool, or as we make sure that you're supported by it if you want to, I think there's also an opportunity right now just to touch base on a couple of overall good ideas. We live in the information age, which means you can literally find an article or a video or somebody that tells you everything is good or everything is bad. Is soy good or bad? Like, you can find stuff on either end of the spectrum. And so what can be challenging is when you're sitting at home and you're like, I need information, and then you go look for it, it's almost like there's too much and we don't really know where to start from. So that's one of the reasons why we're really happy to have Kat with us. She's definitely the expert when it comes to, understanding the data and the research and the science, and even just implementing it in a very human way. So Kat, I've seen a lot pop up about, like, you can do this to boost your immune system. You should eat this right now to protect you. When it comes to that kind of information, what can you tell us in the sense of what's really important and what really makes sense to be paying attention to right now?
Yeah, so first and foremost, from a boost your immune system standpoint, there is no product or supplement that will boost your immune system, right? That's part of our job at dotFIT, is to comb through all the science and to figure out what's actually proven, what's actually supported with data, and what isn't. There is no product that's going to boost your immune system. The best way to avoid getting sick is to social distance, is exactly what we're doing right now, and follow all the best practices with washing your hands, not touching your face, which I catch myself doing all the time, etc. Right? So that's the first thing. Then there are other things that we can focus on. Obviously, this is like a totally new normal for us, right? So we can frame it as an opportunity to sort of reset our lives. Like, what do we want to focus on? We all want to be healthier, right? So how do we create a new normal? Well, one is we got to manage the stress. I know that I'm stressed out trying to deal with kids at home, right? Trying to figure out how I'm going to maintain a workout. All our routines are thrown out the door. So how do you manage stress? And we could probably think of a million different ways, but what's relevant to you? For me, it's walking my dogs outside while I stay 6 feet apart from every other human, right? It's listening to music. it's reading, it's meditating. So what can you implement to manage stress? Because when you're stressed out, that affects your immune system, right? So that can increase your risk of being, getting sick. So managing stress. And then the other part is getting adequate sleep. Right? I know we're all off, but we've talked about this over and over again. When you don't get enough sleep, when you're up scrolling Instagram or Twitter all night or watching the news and you're not getting adequate sleep, that affects your immune system. So what's the optimal amount? 7 to 9 hours. So prioritizing sleep is really important to support your health, right? And then of course, exercise. So don't stop doing that. Find a class that you like. Logan, I'm sure you have tons of resources for all the members. So keep up on your exercise routine, because exercise is one of the things that actually boosts your immune system, right? So keep doing that. And then from a nutritional standpoint, let's focus on the basics. Don't get all out there with different, remedies. Just focus on the basics, like, okay, fruits and vegetables, lots of colors, right? From a high level. Getting quality protein at every single meal, including your fatty fish like salmon and mackerel, because those have good, fats that support your immune system. Getting healthy fats from nuts and seeds, but you got to control the portions, because those can pile up really quickly, right? And then staying hydrated, so drinking water or some kind of fluid, preferably without added sugars, unless you can spare the calories, so that you can keep yourself hydrated. So think high level. I know I just threw a lot at you, but what resonates with you? What's practical for you? And then more importantly, what do you want to do? What is something that you want to do? And see if you can pick 1 or 2 or 3 things at the most that you want to do. And then think about, how do I build this into my daily routine so I can create a new normal? And then hopefully we'll come back to do another chat and I can share some tips on building new routines and new habits. Does that help a little bit?
That is awesome. That's totally the right place to start. Because again, even the dotFIT program itself, it's not about, here you go, here's everything you need, and then we never talk about it again. It's
Right.
all about implementing it every time we see you to build new habits. And so, yeah, just like Kat mentioned, we're going to sort of follow up from this initial starting point and sort of get into some stuff. And it's mostly going to be about, like, how do I implement a new habit? Change is hard. We're being forced into a crazy change right now, which is like, I'm stuck at home or whatever, which I'm not used to. So that's an opportunity. We're being forced to change, where sometimes choosing to change is difficult. So we'll definitely have the opportunity to sort of look at some different habits and how to implement them. And I hope you guys follow along for that, because I think there'll be some really great stuff that we're able to offer over the next little bit. But just from the perspective of, hey, here's where we're starting from. It's like, how can I do a couple things that actually make my life easier?
Yes.
So if that's like, eat raw vegetables because they come that way, sweet. If that means drink more water because, hey, we're really lucky that it comes out of our tap and it's healthy, those are some simple things. So I think that was sort of like the awesome overarching thing that we were looking at. I do want to ask you a follow-up question. And again, keeping it general, because we don't really know who we're talking to, but a lot of people, when they're at the gym and when they're, working through their fitness routine and whatever, they're trying to achieve a particular goal. Maybe they're trying to lose weight. Maybe you were preparing for a competition that unfortunately probably got, postponed. Maybe you're trying to, add a lot of muscle mass. When we talk about managing the stress response, when we talk about kind of being thrown into a different situation, is it reasonable to continue pursuing that type of goal? Do you have any thoughts about big body composition changes at this time, in the sense of what a fitness goal might look like, Kat?
Yeah, well, I think first and foremost is managing the stress, right? If you're overwhelmed with just managing your day-to-day life and creating a new normal, then you might want to create that new normal and get into a routine at home with your kids, with your family, with your sleep, etc., in order to manage your stress response. And then, once you've got a little bit of a routine going on, then maybe you can have enough bandwidth to like go into and tackle a body composition goal. So I think it depends on each person. But let's focus on big picture. Big picture is stress levels down, right? Nourishing ourselves, taking care of our families, And, you know, you can shed some body fat or put on 20 pounds of muscle, you know, once you're in that new normal. That's just my personal opinion. That seems to make the most sense to me. But again, everyone's different, right?
Totally. So, you know, kind of the idea of just managing the total amount of change that we're dealing with. So if you're
Yeah,
already in a lifestyle where you're eating 4 to 6 times a day, counting your macros, you know, if you're already doing that, then it doesn't change anything for
right,
you to keep doing it.
right.
But if you're already managing a bunch of change, adding this big, you know, body composition or fitness goal on top of that is probably just too much change at once.
And
So
that leads to overwhelm, which leads to stress, which then affects your immune system. So very
and
well said.
and it's probably just hard to be successful at implementing a big giant change. Like that's what we see over and over again is this all in or nothing kind of mentality when it comes to nutrition or exercise. It actually doesn't really have a good track record for working for most people. So we'll just kind of have that same recommendation right here. He kind of mentioned like being at home and the pantry's right around the corner and how do I, you know, engage with my kids and whatever. So is there anything just kind of high level and simple that you want to touch on in relation to that, Kat?
Yeah, so I think that for any habit that you want to get rid of, or any behavior like visiting the pantry you want to get rid of, one of the most powerful variables that you can change is the ability part. So making it more difficult to do. How do you make it more difficult to get to your pantry? Right? So whether, and maybe it's there's stuff in the pantry that you need to go hide in some kind of bin in the garage. So you can only get to it with a lot of effort, right? Or you schedule things in your routine to where you don't have a lot of time to go to the pantry, you're busy, or you schedule, you know, little bits of you know, play outside with the kids. So basically pack your schedule with productive items and things you want to do so that you're not just sitting around bored and then you just want to go to the pantry. Does that make sense? So make it harder to do and fill your schedule in with other things that you want to do, like play with the kids, meditate, play with the dog, etc. Does that help? What can you do as an alternate behavior? So every time I find myself going to the pantry, I'm going to drop and do 10 push-ups instead.
Okay.
Right? Then go back to my desk. And
Okay.
then you replace it. And then you know what'll really wire it in, what the behavior scientists said? If you rehearse it like 5 or 10 times. So get up to go to the pantry, do 5 push-ups or 10 push-ups, go back, sit back in your desk, get back up to the pantry, do 5 push-ups, repeat that 5 to 7 times, and that will sort of wire yourself in. And then to really wire it, give yourself a huge like pat on the back celebration, like I'm the man, yeah, you know what I mean? Some kind of celebration, because then your brain will get this little hit of dopamine that reinforces the new habit. They call that behavior rehearsing.
So great. And that actually kind of speaks exactly to one of the very first things I recommend when I first start working with a client is, you know, buy what you actually want to eat. So when you're grocery shopping, like part of making it harder to go to the pantry is actually not having the things in the pantry
Yes.
that you probably know you shouldn't eat. So like if we even back it up and we look at, hey, when we go grocery shopping, number one, that might be a little bit stressful right now. So like, you know, play some quiet music in your headphones or like take some deep breaths or whatever. But like buy the stuff that you want to eat. So when you go grocery shopping, you shouldn't be hungry because then you're going to buy what you want. So some simple things like put in your house what you want to be eating.
Right.
That really, really helps. And then the other thing that just kind of sounds like exactly what you said, but like normally in your day, you get up at a certain time, you have breakfast at a certain time, you have a lunch break at a certain time, you eat dinner at a certain time. Keep those same times or pick slightly better ones since you have the opportunity to do so. But really making meals about like that sort of schedule that we normally have to keep, that can be really helpful as well. Like it's dinner time. I joke around, I had to help my cat lose weight, ironically. So instead of having food available all the time, she gets food at 5 a.m. and 5 p.m. And we did a little extra playing around. Like it can be really simple things that are going to help. So it sounds like those are going to be two really awesome sort of high level strategies to use. And like I said, we can come to you with more specific stuff over the time. We'd love to have your questions, like what do you want help with? What kinds of challenges are you navigating? So that would be really cool as well. Yeah, so then Kat, anything you wanna add on top of that? Like I said, we'd love to see you again, but just in terms of wrapping this one up, what do you wanna leave everybody with?
Yeah, so I would say to just pick, like we said, keep it real small, keep it real simple. Pick 1, 2, or 3 things. Don't try to tackle everything at once. Just take little baby steps, implement one thing at a time, and we're going to support you guys along the way. So I'll definitely be back. If you'll have me.
All right, well, you've heard from a couple of experts. Like they said, we're here to support you. We'd love to have your questions so that we can, answer, specific needs as we go. The next time you'll see me, whether you do the YouTube stuff or whatever, we're gonna throw a little bit of Instagram live on. I'll invite you into my kitchen, and we'll be able to just look at some simple things. So again, I encourage you guys to just take a deep breath. Do little things. Every little thing matters. You don't have to be perfect. And, if we have some extra time on our hands and we get to learn some things, I think that's a big win out of this whole situation. So thank you to Jason in Colorado. Thank you to Kat in Southern California from South Surrey. We'll see you guys later. Have a fantastic day.
Bye.
Bye.